Meant to Die, a Brush Series mystery by Jennifer Shaw Wolfe. Text copyright 2021. Read by Royal McEachern. Recording copyright 2025. Chapter 1.
I'm at the edge of an embankment. Rain pools on the side of the road and runs in small rivulets down the side of the mountain, but I'm not wet. Red and blue beams of light reflect off the twisted metal at the end of the guardrail, but pass through the figure perched on top of it. Rescue workers shout commands to each other, working to free his body from the wreckage. Damn. I must have fallen asleep in the middle of my history, I say. Somewhere between the rise of the Third Reich and Pearl Harbor. Tanner is sitting on the edge of the guardrail, calmer than he was last time we were here. This time he's just watching the firefighters, not shouting at them that he's not down there. He's not begging me to tell them he isn't dead. Yet. Maybe he's finally ready to move on. I figured it out, Rand, he says without looking at me. I almost never get called by my real name during these visions, but Tanner knows me. I hold my breath, hoping and not hoping that he's going to admit that he's dead. As hard as it is to be dragged over here over and over again, I'm not sure I'm ready to let him go. There's a storm going on, right? I bet my car was hit by lightning and I somehow phased out of my body before it went over the cliff. I watched a Star Trek episode about it, remember? In another lifetime, Tanner and I lived next door to each other. We played football together in the cul-de-sac and binge-watched old Star Trek episodes at his house after school. But that was before my visions became intense, before he became super drop quarterback of the varsity football team, before he called me a freak when I asked him to dance at our 9th grade graduation ball, before he drove too fast on the way back from the homecoming game and missed the corner going home. I should have guessed a teenager's biggest regret in life would be losing it. I was thinking you could Google it or something. I can't be the first person this has happened to. We need to figure this out before they do something stupid like put me in the ground. I can't tell him that his funeral was months ago, that I broke my no funerals rule and went, that I watched his mom and dad, most of the student body sobbing over his grave, and they already put him in the ground. For him, it's less than an hour after the accident. He watches as they lower a stretcher down the side of the hill. I have to get back before the dance tomorrow. Bree spent a fortune on her dress. I let him talk without answering. I'm not sure what my role is in this. I can't change his biggest regret. I can't change the fact that he's dead. Am I supposed to convince him that he has to move on? My gift or curse or whatever this is didn't come with an owner's manual or some kind of divine guidebook. Dealing with dead people in denial or 101 ways to convince someone that they've kicked the bucket. I know there's absolutely no humor in the situation. I must be loopy or numb or just cynical. When it comes to Tanner, I'm never sure. He moves closer to me, sidestepping another firefighter, running towards us with a coil of rope. You'll help me, won't you, Rand? I follow his gaze to the figure slumped over the steering wheel. Man, I hope I can play the rest of the season. No offense, but Gardner sucks as backup quarterback. Gardner did suck as the backup quarterback. They finished with a 3-8 record even though they wore black armbands and dedicated the rest of the season to Tanner. Not that I follow high school football. I'll do whatever it takes, just don't let them put me in the ground. He pulls his gaze away from the wreckage, his eyes pleading. Over his shoulder, they finally wrench the car door open. I close my eyes, but I can still see how his body slumps when they pull him out. He reaches for me, desperate. It's a mistake. I'm not supposed to be dead. You'll have to tell him I'm... As soon as his hands touch my shoulders, I'm thrust backward off the guardrail and over the embankment, but instead of landing on the rain-slick mountainside, I keep falling. I wake up with a jolt, tangled up in my blankets and covered in sweat. My laptop is open on the bed beside me. The screen is black with a smiling skull and crossbones ricocheting from one side of the screen to the other. My attempt at ironic humor. I close my laptop and move to the unfinished painting beside my bed, trying to capture him the way I've captured my other visitors. But my visits from Tanner aren't like the ones I had before he died. The penciled-in features and bright blue eyes bear little resemblance to the desperate creature at the edge of the embankment. I study his senior picture clipped to the side of my easel, but I can't reconcile the Tanner I knew with the Tanner from the picture or the boy from my visions. I glance out at the hearse parked in our driveway, then down at my phone. It's 4 a.m. I stretch my arms and reevaluate the painting, wondering why I can't finish it. Tanner's face is emblazoned in my mind. Every other dead person I see compels me to paint them as soon as their visit ends. Another nearly finished painting stands in the corner, a young woman smiling at a man in a soldier's uniform. He'd waited for her for nearly 70 years. I painted both of their youthful faces perfectly, despite the fact that the woman had passed at 93, and I'd never met either of them until she took me walking in a field of bluebells moments after she died. I give up and stand to work on the other paintings. A smudge of red paint in the corner of the canvas stops me. I lean closer. It's not just red paint, but some kind of doodle. Intertwined crosses beneath a red rose, a single drop of blood coming from a thorn on the stem. I don't remember painting it. I slide my thumb over the image. It comes back red, as if it were streaked with blood.
Chapter 2.
Did you sleep at all? Mom puts a bowl of oatmeal and strawberries on my nightstand. I set down my paintbrush and lift my arms above my head to stretch my back. I lean to one side, then to the other. My shoulders pop and stiffen in protest. Yeah, I just got up early. I wanted to finish this while her face was still fresh in my mind. Mom leans over my painting and points to a man standing in the background. Who's that? The man she was in love with. I think she may have left him at the altar. I take the glass Mom was holding and take a long drink of the sweet orange juice. Catch a piece of ice between my teeth and crunch it. Do you know if she ever got married? It hits me that it might be awkward if the woman in the painting had a husband, one who didn't know about the man waiting in the meadow. No husband, just a sister, Lene or Lynette, I correct her, using the name of the woman that had called me. Right, Lynette. Eat, Mom points to the oatmeal without asking. None of this is new to her. I don't have to explain why I know the name of the woman's sister when I've never met either of them. Ghosts have been coming to me as long as I can remember, way before I was old enough to know that sane people don't talk about seeing dead people. Mom has had her own vision, a near-death experience when I was born. My twin sister died, and Mom nearly bled to death. Because of that experience, she accepts what I can see as part of who I am. My dad knows about the visions too, but we don't talk about it. He chooses to pretend I'm a normal teenager. I want you to go back to bed and try to get some rest. Lynette won't be bringing pictures until later today. She gestures to the painting. That doesn't need to be finished for a while. I set the glass on my dresser. Stand up and stretch again. My arms and my back ache. My eyes burn from staring at the canvas for almost 4 hours. I'm taking Mark to school, then I have paperwork to do at the office. Mom screws the cap on one of my paint tubes, and you need to spend some time on the schoolwork this afternoon. It would be nice if you were able to graduate with the rest of your class next year. I cross the room and sit on my bed, pick up the bowl, and stir the oatmeal. The report on World War II and the Nazis? Mom waves her hand in front of my face. The one that should have been sent in a week ago? Right. I set the bowl back down. The report that was so engaging that I fell asleep on top of my laptop. You need more sleep. Mom leans over me and tucks a piece of my reddish-brown, stringy mop of hair behind my ear. Your training meeting is tonight, right? Right, I say again. My stomach twists in anticipation and dread. Mark, my younger brother, walks into the room, no regard for my privacy. Wow, Miranda, you like hell. I stick my tongue out at him, but I know he's right. Mark, watch your language and be nice to your sister. And go brush your teeth. You're going to be late. Mom ticks off her usual list at my brother. It's the last day of school. Nobody cares if I'm late. And I could have said Miranda looked like Mark, Mom says. She needs more sleep, he finishes. His face lights up with a mischievous smile that spreads across his face and up to his flaming carrot top. Teeth now! Mom herds Mark out my door. She stops at my doorway and sighs. Breakfast, sleep, schoolwork. In that order, I'll be at the mortuary if you need me. I wave as she heads to the door, still getting after Mark. After she leaves, I stand up and run, a brush through my hair, in front of the mirror above my dresser. I could be a ghost too, based on the reflection that stares back at me. Pale, dark circles under the nondescript gray eyes, thin to the point of being waif-like, not in the model waif-like way, just wasting away. Could be anorexic thin. That was probably one of the rumors that went around my school when my parents pulled me out last year, that I had an eating disorder. If anyone even noticed, I was gone. My official diagnosis is seizure disorder. Not the kind of seizures that make you fall on the floor and thrash around, but the kind that make you stare off into space, forget everything that's going on around you, and in my case, see and hear people and things that don't exist in the normal world. I plop back down on the bed, take one bite of the oatmeal, and set it back down. It's already cold, but it's not worth the effort to walk all the way to the kitchen to heat it up. I open my laptop to look at the report. I don't want to go back to sleep, even if I need to be sharp for my meeting tonight. People think spirits only visit in the nighttime, and I know that isn't true.
Chapter 3.
You got another thank you note from one of Dad's clients. Mom is sitting at the table, sorting through the mail. She hands me a blue envelope. I rip it open and skim through the card. The curly-Q handwriting says, "Thank you for the portrait of my mother. Your painting captured the essence of who she was. I ran into Tanner's mom at the grocery store yesterday. She looks like she's doing better." Mom flips through the junk mail flyer casually, but I get the question she's afraid to ask. "The painting isn't finished yet," I say without looking up from the card. "I know, honey, and she didn't say anything about it." Mom reaches across the table and pats my hand. "I get this one is especially hard for you, but I was thinking that if you finish the painting, maybe it would help you move on." Move on. Ironic choice of words. Maybe I could do the painting if Tanner would move on and stop dragging me to the accident scene over and over again. I get up from the cabinet and drop the card into the recycling bin. I have to go. Go? Mark asks. He's playing video games in the clothes he'll probably wear for his entire summer vacation. "You never go anywhere." "I go." But even as I say it, I realize I can't remember the last time I left the house. "Oh, that's right. You have training for your new job," Mom says, as if she hasn't enthusiastically reminded me every day for the last week that this is coming up. "It's not exactly a job. I'm only getting a small stipend. Besides, it's only a couple days a week. It's not like I'm donning an apron and cheesy ball cap to fling burgers." I'm using the exact words that Dad used to convince me to apply for the job. Another attempt to make me into a normal teenager, as if a mortician's daughter would ever be considered normal, even if I didn't see ghosts. I shoulder my backpack casually, even though my stomach churns like a kindergartner leaving home for my first day of school. "See you. I should only be a couple of hours." Mom waves, actually getting a little misty-eyed. Maybe they're right about me getting out of the house more. As I walk the familiar path to the rec center, my mind goes back to all the times I walked this way when I was younger. Dad dragged me to the Parks and Rec Center classes to get me out of the house for the summer after 6th grade, right when the visions got more frequent and more intense. Madame Valderage was my first and only art teacher. She was a little French woman who had taught art at the high school and kept teaching at Parks and Rec even after her hands were too gnarled to hold a paintbrush. I'd been drawing and painting almost as long as I'd been seeing dead people, but before her, my talent was raw at best. She took me under her wing as her protege. For 2 years, I spent 4 afternoons a week in the little Parks and Rec studio, while she nurtured my divine gift. She didn't know about my other gift, at least not until she came to me late one night at the end of summer. I was more shocked than she was. A few hours before, I'd left her alive and well, sipping tea in her tiny apartment. We spent the entire night touring the 1960s Paris together, mostly museums, before she disappeared into a little chalet in the French countryside. It was filled with light, and from the outside it looked like there was a party going on. It was the trip home she never quite had the time or money for. I'm glad I got to go with her, at least in spirit. I won't be going to the real Paris ever. Flying is one of my many unreasonable fears. When I reach the rec center, I'm handed a pile of paperwork and a name tag. Miranda Kirk, beginning art instructor. I put the name tag on and clutch the paperwork against my chest as I walk to the last row of the back of the room. It's occupied by a chatty day camp counselor and the swim instructor/lifeguard she's flirting with. He has dark hair, green eyes, and he's built like a swimmer, with broad shoulders and pecs bulging from under a gray t-shirt. The girl is blonde, dark-eyed, and has stuffed her oversized chest into a white half t-shirt that could kindly be described as minimalistic. Her name tag is perched on top of her left boob, so all I can read is the day camp counselor part and not her name. The two of them are sure to be making out in the supply closet by the end of the first day. I move to the end of the row. Next to the only empty seat is a little girl, nearly hidden behind the dark-haired boy. She's bent over a sketchpad, swinging her two short legs over the edge of the folding chair as she scribbles furiously with a blue crayon. I glance at her drawing as I sit down, but all I can make out is a sea of choppy crayon waves. The woman in the front starts the meeting, then drones on for what feels like forever about a youth protection class we all have to take, along with CPR and conflict resolution. I doodle in the margins of my paper, trying to get the eyes right for the man who called me Wendy and showed me every piece of rigging on the boat he never bought before he sailed away into the mist last night. The lifeguard/swim instructor leans over my drawing. Are you the art teacher? I look up, startled. That's what it says. I mean to point at my name tag, but it looks like I'm pointing at my non-existent chest, maybe to further highlight the difference between me and the girl who was right. Cool, I'm Adam Holt. We just moved here, and this is my little sister. She's going to be in your class. He pokes the little girl with the sketch pad on the side. She looks up, annoyed. Remy, this is your teacher. He squints at my name tag. Miranda. The little girl regards me skeptically, a crayon still clutched between her fingers. Are you any good? A strangled laugh forces its way up out of my throat. Instead of answering, I hold up the drawing I was working on. Remy nods. Not bad. She holds up her own drawing with a challenge in her eyes. In the middle of her sea of crayon waves is a girl's face, her mouth open wide, and a silent scream. That's so cool, camp counselor breaks in. She's using the voice people use when they're talking down to small dogs and toddlers. She leans over and puts her hand on Adam's knee to get a closer look at Remy's picture. A smiling pink sun in the middle of a blue sky? Remy stares back at the girl, unblinking. No, it's a dead person. Camp counselor sits up, her dark eyelashes fluttering with shock. It looks more like... Remy stares at camp counselor for a second longer, then levels her gaze at me. As her green eyes meet mine, the air chills and my skin prickles. The crayon drawing comes to life. A girl struggling against blue-green waves flashes into my thoughts. I feel her panic, but I can't see her face clearly. Remy's voice comes deeper, louder, but far away. Actually, she's not dead. Yet.
Chapter 4.
Remy! The image evaporates. I'm covered in cold sweat, gasping as if I was the girl from the picture. Day camp counselor and the kids sitting in the row ahead of us are staring at me. Adam stands, his face flushed. He grabs his sister's hand. It's time for you to go. I hear to pull myself back to reality, not sure what just happened. Not yet, Remy whines. Adam grits his teeth. Now. We'll wait for Mom outside. Remy twists her mouth into a grimace, but she gathers up her crayons and puts them in a little pouch. She tears the drawing out of her notebook and stretches her hand toward me, like she's going to give me her picture. At the last minute, she pulls back. Not yet. Adam pulls her away, and I stare at the picture clenched in Remy's fist. There's something about it, something about this little girl that feels familiar. Scary familiar. I've never met anyone who draws dead people like me before, and I've never had a vision like this one. One that feels like it was forced into my head. Adam comes back without his sister. He mumbles an apology as he sits down. Don't worry about it, camp counselor says, her hand on his arm. Kids are so weird sometimes. Last summer I stand. My fingers itch to draw whoever or whatever it was that I saw. But I can't do that now, not in front of two complete strangers. I have to go. I squeeze past Adam and camp counselor without meeting their eyes. Are you okay? Adam asks. I ignore the question and move toward the door. When I'm safely on the other side of the room, I glance back just long enough to see the girl point to me and mouth a word I've heard too many times not to recognize. Freak. I push through the door to the rec center with my fists clenched, my head down, furious at myself for my failed venture into the outside world. The streets aren't even dark yet, but as soon as the door closes, I feel her behind me. She's so close, if I turned around fast enough, I think I could catch a glimpse of a slippery, shadowy, smoky-like figure. At least that's what I imagined she'd look like. Unlike the other ghosts I've known, I've never seen this one. I've never spoken to her, and she's never spoken to me. Everything from her comes as an emotion. She started coming to me a few months ago. Exactly when, I can't pinpoint, because the feelings were weak in the beginning. Probably right after Tanner's accident. Like Tanner, I sense that she doesn't want to move forward. Unlike Tanner, I think she knows exactly what she is. I've never been scared of any of the ghosts I've walked with. Maybe because they've always been there. Maybe because I know they can't touch me. This one gets to me, though. Her presence works on my emotions until I can't tell what I'm feeling and what she wants me to feel. Right now, it feels like she's laughing at me. Shame bubbles up red hot into my face. Freak, freak, freak. My first foray into the real world in weeks, and I couldn't even make it through one stupid meeting without doing something freakish. She's beside me now. No footsteps, no breath. Just the claustrophobic feeling of someone walking too close, laughing behind my back. I've had enough. I wheel around and face the growing shadows. Leave me alone! I'm not following you. I mean, I am, but my intentions are good. Adam, lifeguard/swim instructor, is trying to catch up. I didn't mean to scare you. You left your paperwork on the chair. Oh, sorry, thanks. My face burns. Worse than the shame I felt before. I fumble as I take the papers from him. I don't think I'm going to be teaching anyway. Why not? His eyes are really green. He's really close to me, and he's really, really good looking. I thought I'd forgotten what it felt like to be this close to a hot guy. But it all comes back to me. The sweaty palms, the stammering, the feeling that I'm going to throw up. I'm pretty sure it's all me. She usually makes herself scarce when other people are around. He keeps looking at me, waiting for an answer. I have to say something. Apparently, he was so focused on his sister that he didn't notice my freaky reaction. I have a really crazy work schedule. I'm not sure that I can... Really? Where do you work? I rub my palms together, not ready to give him too much information. I work for my dad, as a painter. You paint houses? Dang, this guy is persistent. And hot. The voice in my head, the feeling, I can't tell if it's mine or hers. Maybe both, hot or not. I need to get rid of him. I have a surefire litmus test. One that no guy has passed since Tanner in 3rd grade. All I have to say is, my dad's a mortician, and they run. Some of them screaming. It's on the tip of my tongue, but the voice in my head says, don't screw this up. No, art, I answer. I paint portraits. Very cool. So could you do me sometime? Do you? What? I meet his eyes for the first time, shocked at what he said. Then I laugh. It comes out like someone is strangling a duck. He blushes, or maybe it's the reddish glow of the streetlight that's coming on. I mean, could you paint my picture sometime? I hope not, I blurt out. He smiles and leans against the post. Why? Am I that bad to look at? No, it's just... Okay, drop the bomb. I paint dead people. Well, pictures of dead people. My dad's a mortician. You paint dead people. He's preparing to run. I can see it in his eyes. That's really interesting and maybe just a little bit freaky. Freaky, freaky, freak. Miranda's a freak. I have to go. I'm supposed to be home already. I put my head down and start walking away. He follows me. At least let me walk you to your car. No car. I pick up the pace. I'm walking home. I don't have to tell him I always walk, that I don't have a driver's license, that I've escorted too many car accident victims. Make you a deal. He catches up fast. I'll drive you home if you at least try to do the art class. My little sister is really excited about it, and she needs it. We just moved here, and she doesn't have any friends yet. Chivalrous, and he cares about his little sister. Her presence is almost a full-blown voice, purring in my head. I don't accept rides from strangers. I stare straight ahead. Nice, play hard to get. Good rule, I just walk you home then. And yet, he's not leaving. It's pretty far. Don't you have to get back to the meeting? Seemed like they were wrapping up. He's lying. The woman at the front of the room could have talked all night. I keep putting one foot in front of the other, not looking at him. But he stays with me. Between her in my head, Adam beside me, and my lack of sleep, I may collapse into a quivering heap right here on the sidewalk. Then he'll know I'm crazy. He talks the whole way, telling me about his little sister and the school he used to go to. He doesn't seem to mind that the conversation is completely one-sided. When we get to my house, he looks long and hard at the hearse in the driveway, but he walks me all the way up to the front door anyway. I turn around to tell him goodbye or whatever I manage to stammer out. He touches my forearm. I'm so used to people not touching me, and ghost not being able to that I jerk it away, slamming my elbow against the door. He steps back and stuffs his hand in his pocket. Sorry, hey, my arm is tingling. I rub my elbow, waiting for him to finish, but instead the silence stretches on. I'm not sure if I should just walk in the door or if I should wait. Finally, he speaks. I've been thinking about the dead people. What? I cower against the door. He figured out my secret. The ones you paint. They're dead, right? So they aren't going anywhere. Some of us aren't. So they can wait, and then you'll have time to teach the class. It would mean a lot to my sister, and I'd like to see you again. He moves closer. At least think about it. Before I can answer, the door opens behind me. I fall backward. Adam grabs my shoulder to keep me from falling. I'm caught up in his arms with my mom standing in the doorway. The shock on Mom's face dissolves into delight almost instantly. Oh, hi, Miranda. I thought I heard someone knock. I didn't expect you to be home already. She looks at Adam, like she just noticed he was there. And who is this? Adam Holt. He releases my shoulder and extends his hand to Mom. He walked me home from the meeting. It's all I can do to keep from crawling under the front porch. Oh, thank you. That was very nice of you. Mom is shaking his hand and gushing like I've never had a guy at the door before, which I haven't, but she could be a little more subtle about it. I'm Miranda's mom. Would you like to come in? No thanks. I've got to get home. He backs away. Hearse and crazy mother equals too much. I'll see you when class starts next week. Okay, Miranda? She'll be there, Mom answers for me. I walk past her and try to shut the door, but she's still holding it open, calling after him as he walks down the stairs. It's so nice to meet you, Adam. Thank you again. She hovers, watching him walk all the way down the sidewalk. I head for my bedroom so I can hide. Who was that boy? Dad asks from the living room. A boy who walked Miranda home from the meeting. Isn't that great? I'm not sure, Dad starts. Mom cuts him off. Hush! It's fine. As I close the door to my room, she says, I knew her teaching that class was a good idea.
Chapter 5.
Candles flicker on the altar in front of the room. On either side are white baskets full of red roses that I can't smell. The pews are packed with mourners. They have their heads bowed. Their shoulders shake like they're crying or praying, but I can't hear the words. There's an organ playing somewhere, a solemn tune that drowns out everything else. Red, blue, and golden light streams from a huge stained glass window above the altar. It shows a bandaged man coming from a rock tomb. Lazarus, I think. In front of the church, draped in more roses, is a white casket. The girl inside is beautiful. Pale, creamy skin, dark curly hair. She's young. 16, 17 at the most. I'm not sure why I'm here. I don't know who I'm supposed to be meeting. The girl in the coffin isn't moving. I can't see her standing among the mourners. The whole image is foggy, more surreal than my other visions. Someone giggles irreverently from the back of the room. I catch a wisp of movement out of the corner of my eye, like a curl of smoke. I spin around, but no one raises their head. No one hears the noise when I walk toward the front of the room. No one looks up or acknowledges me. The giggle comes again and then changes to harsh laughter. My body turns cold and electric prickles run up my spine. I can feel her behind me, breathing without breath on my neck. She laughs again. Find out who I am and I'll help you. She moves closer, breathless lips against my ear. You will need my help. My stomach churns as I step to the edge of the big round desk at the center of Parks and Rec building. I'm here to teach the art class. I'm Miranda. Great, you're early. The blonde, streaked with silver-haired woman behind the desk squares her shoulders and stands. That shows me you're responsible. I hate it when our teen instructors are late. I'm Mrs. Perkins. She extends a thin, spider-veined hand. According to the clock on the wall above her, I'm almost an hour early for my first class. I wonder how responsible Mrs. Perkins would think I was if I told her I can't teach the art class after all. I must have picked up the phone a million times to call the rec center and tell them I changed my mind. But I keep thinking I'm supposed to do this, that I need to see that little girl again. I need to see what it was about Remy or her drawings that triggered a vision like none I've ever had, a vision at the point of death. Then there was my crazy dream. I spent hours lying in bed trying to convince myself that it was just a dream. It wasn't vivid like my visions. It was more like I was seeing the scene through someone else's eyes. But I'm not sure whose. When I woke up, I sketched what I could remember of the dead girl, but the image burned away like morning fog when it was exposed to the light of my easel. The laughter and the words still echo in my ears. Guess who I am? And you will need my help. I should be used to no sleep, but I feel more out of it and groggy than usual. I'm loaded down with dollar store watercolor palettes, a big box of stickers to decorate name tags, and a roll of paper. I've gone over and over what I'm going to do with these kids and tried to remember the lessons that Madame Vandeleur started out with when she taught this class. I wish I had saved some of my early projects, but I don't save anything. None of the ghosts I've walked with have ever carried a suitcase. The woman consults a clipboard hanging on the hook above the desk. Beginning art, room 113. Ron can lead you in. A tall, pimply teenage boy beside her sets down the comic book he was reading. He gives me a disinterested look, grabs a ring of keys, and waits for me to follow him. He doesn't offer to take any of the stuff I'm juggling. Instead, he perches an updated list of my students on top of the pile in my arms. We pass a wall of glass that overlooks the pool. I glance at it casually, out of curiosity, not because I'm looking for Adam. I'm distracted, so I run into Ron as he stops in front of the door to my classroom, right across from the pool. I lose my grip on my stack, it tips, and everything falls. The covers to the watercolor sets crack as they hit the floor, and some come off completely. The little circles of paint fall out and bounce all over the gray linoleum. Ron doesn't offer to help me now, either. He sorts through the keys and pretends he doesn't notice me crawling around under his feet. As I reach for a chip of the blue paint that's broken in half, Adam walks right up to the window of the pool. A few inches of glass are all that separate us, and I look like a complete idiot. I pretend I don't see him. He taps on the glass. I bend my head lower and ignore the tapping. After a couple more taps, he stops. Ron stands at the door and sighs impatiently while I get what I can carry together and hurry to my feet. I'll have to pick up the rest after I dump this load. Ron flips on the light, and I'm overwhelmed by memories. Though our room is exactly the way I remembered it. Tables with little cans of pencils and crayons in the middle, easels against the wall by the windows, the smell of paint and clay and dust. The only addition is a gold-framed portrait of Madame Vandeleur, painted by her prize pupil. I haven't seen it since I presented it to the Parks and Rec Council almost 2 years ago. Ron gestures toward the shelves in the corner, filled with art supplies, including a stack of watercolors. You can use any of the supplies on the shelves. He looks at the mess of things in my arms smugly. Let us know if you run out of anything. I feel like an idiot. I should have asked if Parks and Rec would be providing the supplies for my class. I blew a bunch of my own money for nothing. Frustrated, I drop my arm load on the table in front and turn around to go get everything else. In 2 steps, I stop. Adam is standing at the door, holding the extra supplies I dropped. His hair is wet, he's wearing a swimsuit, sandals, and an unzipped Parks and Rec jacket, and a huge grin. A red whistle hangs against his bare chest. You aren't supposed to leave the pool area without drying off first, Ron says, eyeing the drops of water sliding off Adam's swimsuit. Or without a shirt. Adam doesn't sound sorry at all. He sets a roll of paper covered in his damp fingerprints and a box of stickers on the table beside the broken watercolors. I wasn't going to stand by and watch Miranda pick all this stuff up by herself. He left a puddle of water on the floor. Ron points to a few drops of water beside Adam's foot. That's a safety violation. Only if I don't clean it up. Adam flashes a smile in my direction. Miranda, pass me the paper towel. I'm so conscious of his eyes on me that I almost can't remember how to work the paper towel dispenser. When I pull the arm down, the click, click, click of the dispenser echoes across the checkered linoleum floor. Ron glares at Adam. Adam smiles back at him and takes the paper towel from me. Thanks. He kneels down to wipe the floor. Good enough, he says to Ron, and throws the paper towel toward the garbage can. He sinks the shot without looking. Ron grunts something unintelligible and turns back to me. We expect the room to be left in the same condition you get it in. There's a janitor's closet down the hall with a mop and broom. Lights out and lock the door behind you. Any questions? I shake my head. He turns and heads back to the desk with a passing glare to Adam. Adam waits until Ron is a few steps down the hall before he says, Wow, that guy. Anal much? I shrug my shoulders, but a voice in my head laughs. Hard. The same laughter from last night's dream. It startles me so much that I look around for the source. I was so caught up in my own nerves that I didn't know she was here. Adam leans against the table behind him, picks up the box of stickers, and turns it over in his hand. I wait, watching the clock behind him tick off the seconds. I need to get ready for my class, but I can't move with him around. He finally puts the box down and looks at me. I need to ask a favor. I knew it. Remember my little sister Remy? I need you to bring her to me at the pool after class is over. The pool? You mean the one that's right there? I point through the open door to the wall of glass. Yeah. He picks up the box of stickers again and shakes it. I'll be teaching a class and I need someone to get her to me and, well, he turns the box over in his hand. Stay with her until I'm finished. A babysitter. Wow, that's rich. You want me to watch your little sister? My mouth drops open and I lose any composure I might have had. His tone softens and his voice gets deeper, like he's trying to flirt. Yeah, you don't mind, do you? He takes a step closer to me. I'm trapped between his bare chest and the table behind me. The pieces slide into place. Why he was nice to me. Why he walked me home. Why he's here now. He needs someone to babysit for him. I fold my arms in front of me and do my best to stare him down. Really? He sets the stickers back on the table and starts talking fast. See, my aunt will be at work, and she has to drop Remy off here, and I really need this job. The lifeguard and swim lesson thing, I need the money, but there's about a half an hour between your class getting done and my shift ending. He looks up at me with a kind of pitiful please look that I'm sure would melt a less cynical target. I'd really appreciate it if you could help me out, and I'd make it up to you. Remy could help you clean up, and I could drive you home. Her voice in my head cackles. That's why he chose you over the blonde chick. She's easy, but you're useful. I avoid his pleading look. I want to say no. I need to say no, but chronic cynic or not, he seems desperate. And I'm not a monster. And he's hot. Oh, so hot. If I left right after class, what would I do anyways? Paint, work on homework, take a nap, and risk a visit from Tanner? It's only a half hour. A half hour isn't very long. I cover my mouth, realizing I spoke out loud. Adam smiles down at me, hopefully. Only a half an hour, except on Tuesdays when I have to lifeguard open swim. Tuesdays? I can feel myself being sucked in. You teach 2 classes on Tuesdays, right? It was on the schedule. Remy could take both classes and then you could bring her to me at the end of open swim. Which is 3. He picks up his whistle and swirls it between his fingers, avoiding my eyes. So it's just a couple extra hours. But I'm a complete stranger. I pick up one of the cracked watercolor sets and then set it back down again. How can you just leave your sister with me? How do you know I'm not a serial killer or a freak who hears voices in her head? You teach art to kids. You pass the background check, right? And other than the painting dead people thing, he grins like he's making a joke. You seem pretty normal. He doesn't know you very well, does he? He leans closer to me. Besides, no girl as cute as you could be psychotic. He reaches out like he's going to touch my hair, flirting his way to a free babysitter. I pull away and bump my hip hard against the table. Ow! Look, Adam, your class is waiting. Another lifeguard wearing the same Parks and Rec jacket pokes his head through the door. Perkins will have your butt if you don't get out there. He sees me and rolls his eyes. Stop getting distracted by the girls. I'm coming. Adam finishes his closing move and brushes his hand down my shoulder. See you after class, Miranda. And thanks. His touch sends an electric current through my shoulder to my face, making my cheeks burn red. I can't say no to him. I can't say yes either. I can't say anything. He walks out the door and then turns back around. Oh, and Remy is terrified of water, so you'll have to stay out of the pool area until I get done. Okay? Thanks again.
Chapter 6.
Inside, I'm sputtering, but I can't make the words move to my lips. Somehow, his touch paralyzed my vocal cords, too. I can't tell him that I can't/don't want to watch his little sister. How does someone just assume a complete stranger will babysit for them? I don't move until he's on the other side of the wall of glass. He waves at me and then sits down on the edge of the pool with a group of kids. Slowly, I regain enough composure to put the stickers and name tags on the table at the front of the room for the early arrivals to work on. He's using you. Shut up, I whisper as I get the watercolor sets from the supply shelf and set one in front of every chair. One touch and he's got a personal slave for life. I work on ignoring her as I fill little cups with water. You are so pitiful. The voice in my head, mingled with humiliation, anger, and embarrassment, follows me around the room. Using you, using you. I rip off big pieces of paper to put it every place. But he is hot. I tear at the roll of paper so hard that the cutting edge slices into the side of my thumb. It stings like crazy. I drop the paper on the floor and suck on the cut. But he doesn't want you. Not really. He just needs you. I turn around fast. Damn it, get out of my head! Standing in the doorway, looking shocked, is a woman and her little boy. My first student. Echoes of laughter ring in my ears. My face burns. Again. Maybe we have the wrong room? The woman looks like she hopes she has the wrong room. Beginning art? No, you're in the right place, I stammer. I'm sorry, I scramble for something that won't make me look crazy. Don't you hate it when you have a song stuck in your head? I look at the little boy because I can't face his mother. Oh, yeah, well, she puts her hand protectively on her son's shoulder. That is annoying, but I hope your language... Damn it, counts as language? But he hears worse than that on the playground. I'm sorry for that. I bend over to pick up the paper that has unrolled a couple of feet across the floor. When I stand, I keep my eyes on the little boy and try to force her voice out of my head. Would you like to make a name tag? I have some cool stickers. You can pick some stickers that represent you. The boy looks at his mom. What does represent mean? It means... I forgot that there are words little kids don't know, and I'm too flustered to think of a good way to explain it to him. His mom steps in front of me and reaches for the pile. Just choose some stickers that you like. Here, you like dinosaurs. I walk away from them. How did I get myself into this? More kids filter in. A dark-haired girl in a green and pink shorts outfit, a chubby girl with rosy cheeks and hair so transparent blonde that it looks pink, sandy-haired twin boys that look like double trouble, and a small girl with black braids whose mom peels her hand away and leaves quickly. According to the roster, I have 7 kids in the group, ranging from age 7 to 9. Remy is the last student through the door. She's standing next to a woman who I guess is her mom. The woman crosses the room to me. She looks harried and she keeps glancing at her watch. Are you Adam's friend, Miranda? Yes, I answer, although friend would be a stretch. And you'll be able to keep Remy until he's done with his classes? The woman glances around the room. Yes. There's no point in telling her that Adam forgot to mention my babysitting service to me until this morning, although he obviously said something to this woman about it. Thank you. The woman squats down in front of the little girl. You can stay with Adam's friend, okay, Remy? She pronounces the girl's name distinctly. Adam will take you home. I won't be home from work until late tonight. Okay, Remy says. Her eyes follow the woman through the door. Would you like to make a name tag? I ask. She looks at the pile of supplies on the table. What do I do with the stickers? Pick some that represent you. Just pick some things that, I fumble again, that you like. She stares back at me. I know what represent means. Oh, okay then. Does it have to be a sticker or can I draw something? One twin shoves another into the easels in the corner. 2 more easels clatter to the floor. The little girl in the corner flinches, whimpers, and stuffs her hand into her mouth. The boy's mom surveys the scene and shakes her head. I feel like crying too. Whatever you want, I say over my shoulder, moving to quell the brewing chaos. Please don't. Settle down. Stop! I reach out and stop the twins running past me. He wriggles out of my grasp. What was I thinking? I can't teach kids. I've rarely been around them except my brother, and it takes him about 2 seconds to make me crazy. These kids, staring at me for some sort of direction, scare me way more than any of the spirits I've ever faced. Dead people I can take. But this crowd... In a mock sweet/condescending voice, the mother says, Can I help you get a project started? How old did you say you were again? 16. As terrified as I am of the kids, this mother scares me worse. I can't do anything with her staring at me. You can go if you like. Your son will be fine. It's me I'm not so sure about. With all these kids, she says. I'm sure she's thinking that she doesn't want to leave me alone with her darling. I pick up the easels and try to sound in charge. Okay, everyone. Find a seat. We need to get started. The twins start fighting over a chair. Helicopter mom sighs again. this time towards heaven. I glance up and see the painting of Madame V and breathe a plea to her, slowly, as if my plea was heard. I remember my first lesson in this room. I clap my hands and yell, "Freeze!" the way Madame V used to. The kids stop, shocked, and they turn their attention to me. We need to get to know each other, and then we'll paint, okay? I pick up a big pad of drawing paper and a white marker from the supplies, and I sit at one of the tables. Everyone get where you can see. They all crowd around me, pushing and jostling for position. I keep my voice low. I won't start until you all settle down. I wait. Eventually, the pushing stops and the room quiets. I point to one of the twins, Max, or maybe Matt, according to the scroll on his name tag. Tell me 3 things about yourself and then count to 100. I'll try to draw you before you get done counting. Okay? Go. He moves in closer. I'm 7 years old and I study him for a second and then start drawing as fast as I can. I like to play baseball. He screws up his face like he's thinking hard. I have most of his face and the outline of a baseball cap. And, I can whistle. He whistles to show me that he can. His brother starts counting. The other kids join in. They lean closer. I'm getting claustrophobic. Little kid's sweat is overpowering the marker smell. I'm sweating too. But I draw faster. I finish with a flourish as they say 99, 100. I hold the picture up for all of them to see. Max, or Matt, in a baseball cap, with pursed lips, a bat slung over his shoulder. It's more of a cartoon caricature than I usually do, but the kids appear impressed. Wow, me next! Can you teach me to do that? They're all clamoring around me. I'm mobbed with sweaty, sticky little kid hands. The only one not a part of the mob is Remy. She's observing from the corner with wide but disapproving eyes. I clap my hands again and yell, "Freeze!" It works better the second time. I'll do one every time we have class, okay? I glance at the clock. Now the time is going too fast. But you need to start on your own pictures now. Smocks first and then back to your seats. 1, 2, 3, go! I hang the picture I drew on the bulletin board while they get smocks. Helicopter mom says to her son, "I have an errand to run. I'll be back soon," and leaves. The kids get in their seats, and I tear off a big piece of paper and attach it to one of the easels. I move it to the front and demonstrate a couple of strokes. Everything has taken longer than I thought. By the time I finish, there's only about 20 minutes left. Go ahead and paint whatever you want. To my relief, they all start painting. I walk around the room and look over their shoulders. I'm starting to feel like a real teacher. Then I notice Remy still standing by the front table, staring at a blank name tag. I walk over to her. "Remy, you haven't started on your name tag." I lean into her ear. "Why?" She shakes her head. "You already know who I am." "Right," I answer. "But the other kids don't." She crosses her arms defiantly. "Maybe I don't want them to know my name." "Why don't you want them to know your name?" She looks at me like that's a stupid question, something that should be obvious to me. Because names have power. I stare back at her. Names have what? Power. Like the little girl with braids knocks over her water. She looks like she's about to start crying again. "Don't worry about the name tag, just start your painting," I say to Remy, and leave her to help the other girl. By the time I finish comforting the girl and mopping up the water, Helicopter Mom is back. It must have been a quick errand. Maybe she was watching from around the corner. I check the time. Class is already over. "Hang your smocks up and dump out your water. Leave your pictures. I'll let them dry on the racks and you can take them home next time." I let out a huge sigh. As they put things away, more moms arrive. The twins point out the drawing I made to their mother. "I want to learn to draw like that," Max/Matt says to his mom. "Did you have fun?" she asks. "Lots and lots," he answers. His mom beams at me. Remy is still painting. She's so focused on what she's working on that I don't try to stop her. I work on cleaning up and putting the supplies away. After the other kids clear out, I move to see what Remy's so focused on. She's painting an underwater scene. A girl lies on the bottom of a murky ocean. Her hair covers her face in a tangle of blonde mixed with green seaweed. The painting is very good for a 9-year-old. Is she a mermaid? But as soon as the question is out of my mouth, I know I'm wrong. She looks up from her painting, like I've startled her out of a trance. Cold, murky dread fills my chest as her eyes meet mine. No, it's the girl from before. My whole body is cold. I suppress the urge to gasp for breath, feeling like if I did, my lungs would fill with musty water. I force myself to stay calm. Is she dead now? Remy pulls the painting off the easel. She will be.
Chapter 7.
Any budding artists like you? I look up from cleaning the room to see one of the few adults who seems to get me, my Uncle Marshall. He's my dad's foster brother and assistant at the mortuary. All young Michelangelos, I'm sure. I hold up the painting that slipped out of the rack. I think it was done by one of the twins. He steps inside and takes the painting, twisting it upside down. I'd say more Picasso. I can't decide whether it's supposed to be a truck or a spider. Spider truck. Actually, that might be kind of useful for the fire department. We could use it to scale buildings and put out the flames. Marshall hands the painting back to me. I slip it back into the drying rack, trying to decide whether it smeared when it fell on the floor or if the streaks of red are on purpose. What are you doing here? Trying to take business away from your dad. He smiles when I raise my eyebrows. Teaching a basic CPR and first aid class. Oh, Marshall's done a bit of everything, from working in a nursing home to being a volunteer firefighter and paramedic to helping at the mortuary. He started medical school but never finished. At one point, I think he was even training to be a cop. This one is interesting. He reaches into the rack and taps Remy's picture. Mermaid? I think so. I'm not in the mood to try to explain Remy's painting to anyone else, especially when I'm not even sure what it means. If it's a mermaid, it's the kind that lures sailors to their death. He continues to study the picture. Kind of dark for a kid. Who painted it? A little girl. They're new in town. I pull the painting away from him, weirdly protective of Remy's painting. Short-haired little bird with a big attitude. Yeah. She was in my class over the weekend. Smarter than you'd think. He leans against the door. I'm heading back to the mortuary. You want to ride? Not in the hearse this time. He cracks a smile. No, I'm babysitting the little bird. You, he smirks. How did that? Miranda, where's my sister? Adam bursts into the room. She went to the restroom, I answer, trying not to meet Marshall's eyes or acknowledge the knowing grin I'm sure is plastered on his face. By herself? Adam looks panicked. Yeah, she's 9, right? And the bathroom's just across the hall. She can go to the bathroom herself. Suddenly, I'm not sure. Adam takes a breath. Yeah, I guess so. Sorry. I need to get to my next class. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay. We're good. I'm annoyed that even though he dumped his sister on me, he doesn't seem to trust me. After he leaves, Marshall won't stop smirking at me. Babysitting, huh? I thought you didn't like kids. Shut up, I reply as he walks away. Ron is alone at the desk when I return the keys. He looks up from his manga long enough to ask if I cleaned up, locked the door, and turned off the light. When I say yes, he takes the keys and goes back to his book. I look at Remy when she stares back at me. I glance at the schedule on the wall and realize that Adam's class won't be over for almost 20 minutes. What am I supposed to do with this kid until then? I look through the glass wall. Adam waves with one hand while he's holding a floating kid with the other. Do you want to go watch Adam at the pool? She looks up at me, her eyes wide. I don't like the water. Right. Adam said she was afraid of water. That might explain the 2 pictures. I look toward the park on the other side of the street. Do you want to go to the playground? Nothing better to do, Remy says. I take that as a yes and start toward the street. We walk in silence, but when I look down at her, I catch her deep green eyes searching my face. Despite her outward defiance, I sense there's something lost and scared inside her. I want to reach out to her the way I never reach out to anyone. When we reach the far side of the playground, she sits on one of the swings. I sit beside her. How long have you been drawing? I try to make the question innocuous, but her eyes brighten. She counters it with, how long have you been painting? It feels like a veiled reference to what my paintings really are, and maybe that's what my question was as well. I answer both questions honestly. Pretty much my whole life. She bobs her head. The movement is so small that I almost miss it. Me too. I take another stab in the dark. The girl in your picture, do you know her? Remy takes a long moment to think. I don't think so. Your face isn't clear. Not yet. I consider how to phrase my next question. I don't want to spook her. Remy, how often do you... Ran, look at that! She points towards the sky, but instead of looking where she's pointing, I can only stare at her. What did you call me? The only person who ever called me Rand was Tanner. She either doesn't hear or ignores my question. Look at all those ravens. I follow her gaze to the huge flock of birds circling the playground. There are so many that they seem to block out the sun. A chill fills the air. The flock appears out of nowhere, like a bad omen. I think they're just crows. Remy shrugs. Either one works, I guess. Some cultures believe that crows are psychopomps. Some believe ravens are. Psycho whats? I'm struggling to keep up with her. Part of me is still stuck on her calling me Rand. She looks at me like I'm an idiot. Psychopomps, you know? Someone or something that guides souls to the other side. Like you. I step back, suddenly defensive. Remy, I don't know what. She leans back, eyes closed, stretching her legs out in front of her and pumping higher and higher into the air. Either way, it means someone's going to die, right?
Chapter 8.
We swing side by side. Remy sings in what sounds like French. A million questions I don't know how to ask swirl in my head along with the birds that circle above us. Even if I could vocalize what I'm thinking, I'm not sure if I want the answers. I barely know Remy, but I feel like she knows everything about me. I know almost nothing about her, but what I've guessed scares me. And if it scares me, what would a normal person think of her? I want to protect her in a way I've never wanted to protect anyone or anything. That scares me more than anything. Adam, red-faced and breathless, comes running across the road to the playground. There you are! He leans against the side of the swing set and breathes in hard. You scared me to death! Another big breath. When I couldn't find you after my class, I was starting to worry that you were some sort of psychopath and you'd done something with my sister. Don't do that to me again. Remy slows her swing with her feet and regards her brother. Where did you think we'd be? Hanging out in the classroom, waiting for you to come get us? I just need to know where you are. He ruffles her hair. Okay? Remy pulls away and rolls her eyes. I'm standing there, awkward, not sure what I should be doing, when Adam turns on his charm again. Well, it looks like you two had fun. Glad everything worked out. He smiles. So I can count on you to be Remy's friend after class? I'm not sure how to answer, so I don't say anything. Remy's face lights up with a mischievous grin. Adam, I think you owe Rand an ice cream. Rand? He smiles down at her. I have limited sibling experience outside of my own family, but I've never seen a brother treat his little sister like this, like he adores her. Yes, Remy grips my hand smugly. She said I could call her Rand, but no one else. I'm starting to feel like I'm her new prized possession. And you owe her ice cream. Well, Miranda, he says every syllable slowly and carefully. He leans close to me so I can smell an odd, but not totally unpleasant mix of chlorine and some kind of musky guy sweat barely covered by another scent. Cologne or just deodorant. I can't tell. Would you like to go get ice cream with me? We could go tonight after my mom comes home so we don't have to take this little twerp with us. Is he really asking me out? My tongue feels heavy and I struggle to answer. No, sure, but she wants me to come. Don't you, Rand? Remy pulls me closer to her side, like I'm in the middle of the rope in a tug of war. Maybe she's tired of hanging out with you. Did you ever think of that? Adam says. I get that he's teasing her. He doesn't really want to go out to ice cream with me, or at least not with just me. Remy hooks her arm around my arm. I'm not letting go of Rand, so you have to take us both. I guess we're stuck with the Klingon, kid. Adam flashes me a smile that takes some of the strength from my legs, even though, in another breath, I've convinced myself that it's all part of him teasing his sister. Can I at least have her other arm? I stand there like an idiot until Remy nudges me toward her brother with her bony little hip. Adam takes my arm. I stiffen and tingle at his touch all at the same time. He grips my arm tighter and smiles at me, but his face is too close for me to return the smile. He needs her phone number too, Remy says. He protests. She goes for innocent, but her eyes are dancing. So he can find you if we ever decide to kidnap me, and so we can ask you to hang out without his little sister around. For once, kiddo, could you just shut up? Adam finally sounds like a big brother. My face is blazing. It makes me feel better that Adam's face is red too. We walk to the ice cream shop with Remy clinging to one arm, Adam's arm linked through mine on the other side. It's a slow and self-conscious walk. Remy twitters like a bird to her brother about the art class and about my drawings. She duplicates my brush strokes in the air while she talks. I didn't think she was paying attention. We get our ice cream, me, plain vanilla, Adam, cookies and cream, and Remy, blue bubblegum with gummy worms on top. and then go back outside to sit at the picnic tables and eat them. I'm smashed, but not entirely uncomfortable between Remy and Adam. I'm on the brink of enjoying myself when the blonde camp counselor walks by on the sidewalk. She's wearing a pair of short shorts and a mini white tank top. She's with Bianca, a girl who's been one of my chief tormentors since grade school. "Isn't that the girl who keeps texting you, Adam?" Remy says it loud enough that the girls look over at our table. My recently cooled face flames back up again, and I lean back behind Adam. "Adam!" The camp counselor waves so wildly that her tank top bobs up and down. They cross the street towards us. Bianca looks at me and then whispers something to the girl behind her hand. "Hey, Kari." Adam waves back. "Hey, Adam." Kari, aka camp counselor, slides onto the seat next to Adam. He scoots over to make room, smashing me against Remy. Remy says something under her breath in French. Adam glares at her. I'm guessing he understands what she said. Kari doesn't catch the comment or look. "We were just talking about hanging out tonight. You want to come?" "That sounds great," Adam says. He's completely forgotten that I'm here, even though our short-clad thighs are so close to each other they're sticking together in the heat. "There are a bunch of us going." Bianca gives me a sideways glance. "She could probably even come." I catch her meaning. There will be so many people there that even a freak like me won't stick out too much. Kari was telling me about that old summer camp in Morton. It's super creepy and cool. We could go in the lake, have a bonfire, and... "No! You can't! You can't go there!" Remy goes from normal to hysterical at half a breath. "Adam, don't! Don't go to the lake! Don't take Miranda!" Adam reaches for her. "Remy, calm down! It's no..." She's shaking her head. Actually, her whole body is shaking. The whole bench is shaking. "No, Adam, you can't go to the lake. Bad things are going to happen." Adam goes ashen. "Remy, stop!" By now, all of us are staring at her. Remy's face is flushed, her short hair whipping back and forth as she continues to scream, "No, no, no!" Adam stands, gasping out an embarrassed apology as he lifts Remy from the bench, literally kicking and screaming. As he pulls her away, she grips my shoulder, fingernails digging into my skin through my t-shirt. When I meet her eyes, the hysteria is gone. Her expression is deadly calm. My mind is flooded again with blue-green waves, thrashing arms, and a scream that gurgles into nothing. "Rand, don't go to the lake. Promise me."
Chapter 9.
She's crying. Sobbing, actually. I've never had one cry before, at least not like this. It took me a few minutes to figure out what was happening. There's always something going on when I'm plunked in the middle of someone's final journey, but it's never been like this. I'm in a bedroom. She's sitting in the corner of the room. Not moving, just crying. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. Who knew death could be this awkward? She has her head bent, her arms crossed over her knees. Her hair is long and stringy, covering her face. I take a couple of steps toward her, waiting for something, anything to happen. As I get closer, I realize she's pleading with someone I can't see. Her voice sounds like a little girl's. "I don't want to go. Let me stay home. Don't make me go. Mommy, they'll laugh at me. They'll say I'm too fat." I move closer, feeling like I should answer her. Maybe I'm supposed to play the role of her mother, comfort her or something. "Don't make me go, Mommy. I don't like my new swimsuit. I don't like the lake." I bend down, still not sure what to do. The girl's hair is wet. The air around her is heavy and smells swampy, like lake water. She looks up and our eyes meet. I recognize her. I take a step back, tripping over the corner of her bed, stumbling into a puddle of dark liquid. No, not a puddle. The room disappears and I'm in the lake, treading water that I can't feel. She's kneeling on the dock above me. "Kari?" The name forms on my lips. She laughs and her face rearranges itself into a smirk. "Why did you have to show up? You're such a freak." The words sting like I was really with her, like I'd gone to the lake and she was telling me I wasn't wanted. But I'm not with her, at least not at the lake. I'm caught in some kind of vision. Her face changes into a seductive grin. "Go on ahead. I don't want to get my hair wet. I'll be fine, but hurry back. I'll be waiting." She sits at the edge of the dock, leaning back and dangling her feet in the water. Suddenly, she screams, trying to jerk her feet up on the dock, like something's bit her. One foot is free, but the other one is being pulled down. She turns on her stomach, dragging her nails into the dock. She's being pulled into the water. She screams again, "Let me go!" She's beside me in the lake, her arms fight the blue-green waves, struggling to keep from going under. She can't keep her head up. Something is pulling her down. She disappears into the dark water. "Kari!" I scream. Her face breaks through. She thrusts her head upward, her mouth wide open. Her eyes meet mine and she mouths the words, "Help me!" Instinctively, I reach for her, but as soon as I touch her, the colors run, dissolving into a rain-soaked canvas of gray light. "No!" My voice echoes through my empty bedroom. I sit up. The lake is gone. I'm drenched, but not in lake water, in sweat. The covers are twisted around my ankles, like a hand pulling me under. I kick them off and stumble out of bed. My mom opens the door to my room. "Baby, what?" I'm on my feet, staring at the window. My breath slows only when I see the hearse that's still parked in the driveway. I slump back on the bed with relief. Nothing, Mom." She moves to rub my back, wrinkles of concern creasing her forehead. "What did you see?" Just a dream. Just a bad dream." I breathe out, but as soon as the words pass my lip, another voice fills my head. "No, a nightmare. And this is just the beginning." The hearse is still sitting in the driveway when I lean back from my easel. I breathe in relief, taking it as a sign that my dream really was just a dream. Not all dead people walk with me on their way to the other side. But Pine Grove is a small town. Pretty much everyone here takes my dad's hearse to their final resting place. I look over the image that haunted my thoughts until I was compelled to paint it. It's not something that I could sell to a grieving family or ever show anyone. Instead of being a painting that captures the essence of a life, this one shows terror at the brink of death. Kari is in the lake, beside the dock. Her mouth is open in a silent, frozen scream. Her hands are clawing at the dark water as she's pulled under. It looks a lot like the drawing Remy did. I lean forward, examining a shadow behind her and just below the surface of the water. The shape is nearly human, but not quite. In fact, there is something distinctly inhuman about it. I shake my head to clear it. Like the symbol on my painting of Tanner, I don't remember painting it. A gentle knock on my door makes me scramble to take the painting off the easel and shove it behind my bed, smearing a few streaks of paint across my sheets. Pull the comforter up to cover them and then sit up in my bed like I was just pulling myself out of sleep. "Miranda," Mom opens the door a crack. "Are you up?" "Getting there." I don't have to try to make my voice sound tired. She pushes the rest of the way into my room. "How are you feeling?" "Okay." I bury my paint-stained hands under the covers and glance at the hearse again. She answers the question in my glance. "No calls yet. What did you... Is it really that late?" I look at my clock, avoiding her eyes and the question. "I told Miss Perkins I helped set up this morning. I need to be there in 15 minutes. She looks relieved. "Can I get you something for breakfast?" I shake my head. "I'll just grab a granola bar and a banana." "Are you sure you're..." "I'm fine, Mom. Really, I need to go." "Get dressed and I'll drive you so you're not late. But I don't want to make it a habit." She smiles, probably enjoying the normalcy of what she just said. Nothing about me will ever be normal. Miss Perkins is waiting behind the desk. Her eyes soften when she sees me. "Miranda, right?" Her kindness immediately puts me on edge. "Thank you for showing up today. I appreciate your commitment. But if you're not up to teaching..." I glance from her to Ron at the counter. He buries his face in his book, but his eyes flash curiosity before they leave mine. Miss Perkins looks uncomfortable, like she said too much. "I heard about what happened at the lake last night with your friends." My blood freezes. "I mean, I assumed you were friends. I saw you together at the ice cream shop yesterday when I was leaving work. It's such a shame. Such a terrible accident." "I'm fine," I mutter, grabbing the keys to my room. I am anything but fine. I should be thinking about Kari, the girl who I'm now sure drowned in the lake last night. But instead, all I can think of is Adam. Did he ignore his sister's warning? Did something terrible happen to him too? Miss Perkins said what happened to your friends, plural. And if she saw me with anyone from here yesterday, it would have been Adam. I stop in front of the pool, hoping to see him. Instead, the same boy I saw before standing with the girl who wasn't here yesterday. Was Adam even supposed to be working today? It's Tuesday. He said he was teaching class and then lifeguarding on Tuesday. But he's not here. I only knew him for a day, and he's probably gone. I unlock the door to my classroom and go inside. Madame V's eyes follow me to the drying rack where I left Remy's painting. I'm suddenly afraid to look at it, remembering what she said, what I saw, and what both of us painted. The dark thing that was in my painting is in Remy's as well. I fold it up, thinking I should throw it away. Before I can decide, the door behind me opens. Remy. She looks more lost than she did yesterday. Her flippant attitude is gone. Her hand is clenched in her mother's. Miranda, I'm so glad you're here. I have to get to work. Adam is... Well, he wasn't up to coming in today. They still haven't found the girl, and he didn't want to leave the lake in case... She gathers a trembling breath. I know it's not fair to ask, but I can't miss work. Could you possibly... She glances down at Remy. You're the only one we know enough to... Remy can stay with me. The words that sound nothing like me, come spilling out of my mouth. I don't want to help. I don't want to watch Remy. I don't want to make any connections. My brain is screaming not to make connections. I can't protect this little girl. People die. Everyone dies. Remy stares at me with her wide eyes and reaches for my hand. I can't say no. I can't say anything. Can you take her back to our house after your class is over? Adam should be back by then. Remy's mom doesn't wait for me to answer. She bends over and hugs Remy, whispering in her ear, Stay close to Miranda. And quieter, Don't talk to anyone else. Then she turns and heads back out the door. Remy is staring at me. I get down on her level and look in her eye. Are you okay? She shakes her head. I can't make it stop, Rand. No one ever listens.
Chapter 10.
Remy spends both of my classes in the corner by herself, drawing. I leave her alone. She's been through enough, and really, I'm not sure how to take her. Is she really some kind of kid prophet who can tell who is going to die and how? As hard as my visions are sometimes, what I saw last night was much worse. She doesn't look up from her drawing until the second class files out. She turns the page over and then quietly helps me put the supplies away. When we're done, she finally speaks. Adam is probably home now. I know you want to talk to him about what I said to the girl yesterday. We don't have to talk about it. Not if you don't want to. She shrugs and walks over to the drawing she worked on all through class. She folds it up so I can't see it, and then she pokes it into her pocket. Remy leads me to an older part of town. It takes us a while to walk there. I didn't think to ask her mom how far they lived, or if we'd be able to walk it. It wouldn't matter, but it would have been nice to know. Remy holds my hand for the whole walk to her house. She actually seems cheerful, making little observations about the class. You did a really good job on that picture of Sophie at the beginning of class today. Or, Matt was the worst of the twins today. Or, Crystal didn't cry at all today. I didn't think she'd paid that much attention, but she knows the names of the kids in class better than I do. Remy is way more observant than I gave her credit for. Maybe more observant than anyone gives her credit for. We finally reach a small house with peeling gray paint and a sagging front porch. Remy takes a key from around her neck and fits it into the lock. She pulls the door open slowly, trying to be quiet, but it still makes a loud screech. In a heartbeat, Adam is in the doorway, a plastic water bottle raised above his head like he was expecting to hit someone with it. What are you planning to do with that? Drown us with it? Remy says. She realizes her poor choice of words immediately. Her face goes ashen. I'm sorry. Adam lowers the water bottle, looking defeated. His hair is disheveled, like he fell asleep with it wet. He's still wearing a swimsuit, and he smells like lake water. You scared me, Remy. I wasn't sure where you'd gone. Mom took me to art class. Miranda walked me home. Remy pushes her way inside. Adam notices me for the first time. Hey, Miranda. Thanks. No problem. I'm backing away, but I feel like I should at least ask. How are you? The inadequate words come out wooden. I wish I had my dad's gift for sympathy that sounds natural. He shrugs. Tired. Did they? I'm not sure how to finish that question. Find her? No, but they made everyone go home who wasn't a part of the official rescue crew. Oh, that's not good. I mean, I'm sure it will be, but I can't tell him it'll be okay. I know it won't. I know what happened to her. Sorry. I need to get going. He looks like he wants me to leave, but he shakes his head. Let me drive you home. Just give me a second to put on some pants and get the keys. I'm torn. I don't want to walk all the way back to my house in the hot afternoon, but I also don't want to be alone with Adam and Remy again. You don't need to. I can walk. You're a long ways in the wrong direction. I need to get out of the house anyway. He opens the door wider. Come in. I just need to put on shoes and get my keys. Awkwardly, I walk in and sit on the edge of a threadbare couch. Remy is kneeling down in front of the coffee table. She pulls the paper out of her pocket, smooths it with both hands, and pulls a pencil out of a jar on the table. She starts working on the drawing again, the same look of pure concentration on her face that she had for 2 classes today. She drapes her arm in front of it so I can't see what she's working on. We're in a small room with a couple of old chairs besides the couch I'm sitting on. On a stand in the corner is a small TV. It strikes me how dark it is. Instead of blinds or curtains, the windows have heavy blankets stretched across them. You're the only one who can save her. I jump and look around. Remy looks up from her drawing, studying my face. Whether the voice is her butting into my personal life or my own thoughts, I can't tell. It doesn't matter. Last night was all the reminder I needed that I can't make connections. Too many bad things happen to people. I barely knew Kari, and I'm going to be haunted by the expression on her face just before she went under for the rest of my life. It's the first time my nighttime visions have brought me to someone's actual death. Even Tanner takes me to the accident scene after the crash, after he's already gone. It's the first time I felt like I could have done something to stop someone from dying. It's the first time I'm haunted by the thought that I should have done something. Remy is still watching me when the voice comes again. She's the only one who can save you. The voice is close, a whisper in my ear. Remy giggles, an almost irreverent sound in the quiet room, like the laughter from the funeral in my dream. She looks up, but her smile goes beyond me, like she can see the person whispering beside me. Sorry, Adam's voice makes me jump. I couldn't find the keys. I kind of threw them when I got home. He walks to the front of the house and opens the door for me. Remy, come on. She finishes something on her drawing, not in a hurry. Then she folds the paper up, carefully puts it in her pocket, and then puts the pencil back into the jar. Finally, she stands up. It would have been a long walk, but the car ride to my house is short and awkward. Adam and I are silent. Remy is humming something in the back seat, but she doesn't talk either. I feel like I should say something to comfort Adam, but I don't know how close he was with Kari. Against my nature, I'm curious. I want to ask him what happened last night, to see how closely it mirrors what I saw, but I don't feel like I can talk to him about it in front of Remy. When we get to my house, I hurry to unbuckle my seatbelt. Adam reaches over and touches my hand. Can I walk you to the door? I glance around our empty yard. The hearse is gone. No, I'm good. I want to, Adam says. Remy unbuckles her seatbelt too. Adam turns around and shakes his head at her. Just me. I'll be right back. Remy's face breaks into a grin. If you want to kiss her, go ahead. I've seen you kiss girls before. I turn bright red, mortified. Remy! He hisses, as embarrassed as I am. I fumble with the door handle, avoiding Adam's eyes. I can go by myself. I need to ask you something, he mumbles. Please? Before I can answer, Remy breaks in. Don't worry, Adam. Rand won't tell anyone what I said yesterday about the lake. She understands. Don't you, Rand? I'm trying to exit the car as quickly as possible, but Remy's hand on my shoulder stops me. I drew this for you, because I knew you'd understand. I turn around and face her. Her expression looks ready to burst with excitement as she hands me the still folded paper. Thank you. I climb out of the car without looking at the paper. We can talk later. I call to Adam before he can follow me. I hurry through the front door and shut it behind me. Miranda, is that you? Why are you so late? Mom says, and then a smile crosses her lips as she peers through the window. Is that Adam in the driveway? I shut my bedroom door on her last words, breathless to see what's on the piece of paper. I unfold it with hands trembling. It's an old woman. Her hair is long, dark, and stringy. Her back is hunched, her clothes are old and dirty, like she might be homeless. I lean close to the picture, but the woman's face isn't clear.